we're going to work on word problems now. So I know word problems are not your favorite, but look, it's so pretty. Anyways, let's take a look at these. So we have a recording studio charges musicians an initial fee of $50. The studio time costs an additional $35. So when you write these equations, take a look at what you have. So you're starting and you're going to pay $50 anyways. So we're already going to pay that. And then it costs $35 per hour. So for every hour we spend there in the recording studio, we have to pay $35 every single time. So here's our formula. Y equals 35x plus 50. When it talks about writing an equation that gives the total cost of the album as a function of studio time, it's telling you, well, it all depends, right? So this word function, it's telling you that studio time is the key. That's what everything depends on. It all depends on the studio time. So it tells you that the function of studio time, meaning that is our slope. It's going to point out what our slope is. So be careful when you're reading it. Because now when we get problems like 1B, it says find the total cost of recording an album that takes 10 hours of studio time. All right, so we substitute everything in, which is just the 10 in for x. We find out that when we multiply this, we get 350, and then we add 50. However, we're not done yet because our final answer needs a label. So our final answer is $400. All right, go ahead and try number 2. You can pause the video, you can continue on, try it on a separate piece of paper, whatever the case is. I'm gonna write the answer here so that you can see it. This way you'll be able to check later on. The trickier ones are like problem number 3 on this page. I'm going to highlight everything on here because it's a little tricky. All right, and we have to be careful about what we're actually paying attention to. So it's telling us that it costs us $33 per month. That's one part, after an initial fee. It's also telling us that we paid a total of $228 after 6 months. So usually how something's set up, it's saying, okay, per month you're going to pay this, but we don't know what that initial fee is, right? And we always have something that's y equals mx plus b, right? This is usually our starting amount or a down payment. Oop, can't spell here. Or a fee, right? It's something that we're paying additional to it. And then our X is always referring to per something. Per, I don't know, let's say month is usually what we see. And we always know our Y is our total. So these are the parts that we're always looking for to fill in. All right. So now let's take a look at what we have. We have the per month. Okay, so I can fill in my slope. All right. Oops. Now that I'm going to fill in my slope, do we know how many months? We actually do. So we're filling in that amount as well. All right, I'm just going to highlight it here. It's a color code everything, right? So this is our slope, our M. And then this is what, how many months that we were spending. All right, and then we also have the total. All right, so we have our blue, which is our total. So we have our total, which is 228 equals, and we're missing that initial fee. So plus F, Let's just name it F because it's the membership fee, or some of you might have named it M. I sometimes try to avoid M because it's usually represents slope. But now we can work backwards and we can figure out what that initial fee is. So let's solve it here off to the side. We have 228 equals 33 times 6 plus F. All right, so we get 228 equals 198 plus F. All right, let's subtract 198 from both sides. We get 30 equals F. So now we can substitute this information into our problem. We can actually rewrite it and say, okay, well, if we don't want the total because that's what we want to find, we know we're paying $33 per month. So our initial fee is $30. This would be our equation. Now we can take that equation and work further to find the total cost after 9 months. Actually, let's make that green. It's after 9 months. All right, let's substitute it in. So we get y equals 33 times 9 plus 30, right? Because we know what that initial fee is now. So we get 297 plus 30. And then y equals 327. So it's $327. I now want you to try that on the next problem. I'm going to give you the answers on the next problem, but I want you to try it. Okay, see what you get. It's solved in the same way that we just solved number 3. I'm going to write the answers and make sure you compare it to what we have here. A different type of problem that you're going to see is number 5 and 6. Now, if you remember, this is similar to function form of when you see f of x equals y, right? We can extract the information because it gives us the data already. So let's take a look at it. It says in BMX racing, racers purchase a 1-year membership. They also pay an entry fee for each race at the track. Okay, so that's like the initial fee, the entry fee, right? And then it says, gives us data. It tells us one racer paid $125 for 5 races. And a second racer paid a total of $170 for 8 races. So it's kind of saying, hey, well, you can figure out how much it costs per race by calculating it. I could turn this into coordinate points, and I know it's going to look a little weird. You're going to be like, wait, what? When you have 2 pieces of data, that's like having data points on a graph. So you have 5, 125. Money is always on your y-axis. And then we also have 8, 170. Remember those 2 questions. What do I have? In this case, I have 2 points. Okay, so what can I find? Usually with 2 points, I can find my slope. So let's do that. Calculate your slope before you do anything else because you're not going to be able to solve anything in slope-intercept form. So we get 170 minus 125 all over 8 minus 5. We get 45 over 3, which simplifies to 15. Okay, so now we have our slope and we have 2 points. Okay, again, these questions. What do I have? What can I find? I have my slope and 2 points, so guess what? We are going into slope-intercept form. All right, we have, let's use the blue point. So we have y minus 125 equals 15 times x minus 5. I'm going to distribute, and I get 15x plus, whoops, that is not a plus sign because a positive times a negative is negative. So minus 75. Okay, I'm gonna add 125 on both sides because I want to get into my y equals format, right? We want it in slope-intercept format. And I find out that y equals 15x plus 50. But here's the thing. The question is not asking us for just the equation. It wants to know, how much does a track membership cost? What is the entry fee? So our answer actually is going to be, here is our entry fee per race, right? Because it's what we're paying every single time, each time. And here is our membership cost. So we can write that here on the page or wherever you have it. So our membership cost is $50 per race. It costs $15. And that's our answer. Go ahead and try number 6. I'm going to write the answer here for you so that you can see what it is. So for number 6, per race, it'll cost $12, and our membership cost will give us $40.